everyone, and welcome to our second video tutorial. My name is Ganeet Sibia, and I'm going to be talking about entry strategies and strategic alliances. I'm going to focus specifically on Chapter 15, which deals with entering developed and emerging markets. The objective of today's video is to describe the ways in which firms can expand their business when they decide to operate on a global level. So I'm going to briefly go over the basic decisions that firms have to make when they decide to expand, as well as the various methods that they can take to enter the foreign market, as well as the pros and cons of each method. The three decisions that a firm has to make when they initially decide to expand globally include which markets to enter, when to enter them, and on what scale, as well as which entry mode to use. Today we're going to focus on the third decision. There are 6 entry modes that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each one. The first way that a business can choose to enter the foreign market is by exporting. This is when a firm would produce goods and services in one country and sell them to buyers in a different country. The advantages of this are that you would avoid the cost of establishing the operations in a foreign market, so there's a lower involvement and lower commitment level. However, your home base may not be the most optimal location to produce that product, so it could be uneconomical due to the high supply chain costs and tariff barriers, and you also wouldn't have enough control on the operations. Licensing is another option. This is when you would grant the rights to intangible property to another entity for a certain period, and you would receive a royalty fee in return. Once again, you would avoid the costs and risks of setting up operations in a foreign market, and you would also be able to participate in the global market, but wouldn't have to do much of the applications yourself. Once again, disadvantages are because you're giving the rights to somebody else, you would lose control over operations and the technology, and you wouldn't be able to use the profits from one country in another. Franchising is very similar to licensing, but it's more of a long-term commitment. When you are selling your intangible property, you would give the franchisee the certain rules that have to be followed, and you would receive royalty payments in return. Once again, you would not have to pay as much, you would not have as much costs and risks, and you would be able to build a profit and quickly build your global presence because you have a well-known brand name. However, the thing with franchises is that you have to make sure that the quality is the same across the board, and if it's not, that could damage your reputation. A joint venture is the next option. This is when 2 independent firms would come together to establish a firm that is jointly owned. The benefits are that you would be partnering with someone who is local in that foreign market, so they would know how to go around things and how to make sure that your entry is accurate and easy compared to the other options. And because you have a partner, you would be splitting the costs. However, working with someone can have disadvantages. You wouldn't have as much control, and you could have conflicts with your partner. The next option is a wholly owned subsidiary. There are 2 options here. You could establish a new operation or acquire one that's already established. The advantage is that you would have 100% control, which means you would also have 100% of the profits. However, this is the most costly method and can be the most risky. Finally, we have turnkey arrangements. This is where you would hire a contractor to handle every detail of the operation. They would arrange everything to make sure that your plant is ready, and when it is, they would hand over the key. This is a good option because you are hiring someone who is experienced, knowledgeable, and a valuable asset. They would know how to assemble and run such a complex process, so it's less risky than other FDIs. However, since you are giving somebody else control to your plant, they could create competition for you in the future. In today's video, we went over the basic decisions that firms have to make when they initially decide to expand on an international level, as well as the 6 different methods or modes of entry that a firm can take. So once again, it's important that firms look at each of these methods and look at the pros and cons of each one, and they decide on the method that works the best for them, is the most cost effective for them, and provides the best results so that their firm is successful in entering the international market. But that is it for today. I hope you guys learned something new, and I will see you guys soon.